Hi, this is Dan Sussman, and I'm here to talk to you today about apostrophes. As you may know, apostrophes are among the most misused pieces of English punctuation. Now, before you smack yourself in your forehead with your hand saying, "Oh, why do I have to worry about apostrophes?" let me ease your mind. While it seems confusing at some times, or when they seem confusing, apostrophes, fact of the matter, the use is pretty straightforward if you know the rules. So let's talk about it. First, what are apostrophes? Well, apostrophes, as you probably know, are those upside-down commas. They float over the letters in some words, and you're familiar with them. Words like won't, Barry's, isn't, can't, Sharon's, wouldn't. In each of these words, I have the apostrophe in red, but why are they in these words, and how do I know where to put them? Let's take a look. So, when do we use apostrophes? It's actually pretty easy. With some exceptions, there are basically two times that apostrophes show up. The first time is in contractions, and the second instance, it's in the use of possessive nouns and pronouns. Let's talk about contractions first. The meaning of the word contract is to reduce in size, so to squeeze down. And that's exactly what a contraction is. It's a reduction to a word or group of words. We just squeeze them down into one. So words like cannot becomes can't. Would not becomes won't. I will becomes I'll. And in all of these cases, the apostrophe is added to the contracted word to show that there are letters missing. Furthermore, the apostrophe is placed in the words where those missing letters would be. So, cannot, C-A-N-N-O-T, we've got C-A-N and then the apostrophe to indicate that the N and the O are missing. Would not, same thing. We've got W-O, but everything else up to the T gets replaced by an apostrophe in won't, and so on and so forth. Possessive nouns and pronouns. We use them to show ownership of something. Let's take this example. The dog's bone. Okay, we've got a dog chomping on a bone. It's his. It belongs to him. So we put an apostrophe before the S in dogs to show possession, to show that that bone belongs to that dog. Here's a similar example. My wife's family. We put an apostrophe before the S to show possession. She possesses that family, or actually another way of really saying it would be she is a part of that family, but it shows that sense of ownership. So you try it. We've got contractions and we've got possessives. So I'm going to give you some examples here, and I'm going to give you a few seconds to see where we could change some words so they have apostrophes. So the first one, if it were not for the thunderstorm, we would go to the park. Look it over. I will tell you there are two instances in this sentence where we can use contractions. We could change it to, if it weren't for the thunderstorm, we'd go to the park. I've taken the were not and I've contracted it and made it weren't, and note that the apostrophe comes where the O would be. And we would becomes we'd, so it's W-E, and then the apostrophe takes the place of W-O-U-L, and then we have the D. So, by the way, people might ask, people do ask, they've asked me, in a sentence like this, in a situation like this, which is correct, the first sentence or the second one? And the answer is both of them. One is no more correct than the other. My only comment on that, though, is if you are going to use the sentence with the contracted versions of the word, make sure that the apostrophes go in the correct place. Here's another example. The baby's rattle fell on the floor, so I had to pick it up. And I will tell you, there is one mistake in here. And this one is a mistake. It's not just a question of preference. Well, the sentence should read, the baby's rattle fell on the floor, with babies having an apostrophe. Why? Because the apostrophe is used to show ownership of the rattle, possession. Whose rattle is it? It's the baby's. So we should have an apostrophe there. The first version of the sentence is not right. Okay, one more. We will go to the movies, but only if I can borrow my sister's car. Okay. We can shorten to will go to the movies, but only if I can borrow my sister's with an apostrophe car. Okay. We can contract we will into will. Do we have to do that, by the way? No, we don't. Either version is just fine. However, sisters, because it's possessive, must take the apostrophe S. To just say sisters, S-I-S-T-E-R-S, without an apostrophe, nope, not possible to do. It would be wrong. Okay, now there are some special situations and qualifications that you need to know about in using apostrophes. I'll give you some of the most important ones. First of all, to form the possessive case of a plural noun that ends in S, you simply add an apostrophe after that final S. So here's an example. The birds chirping woke me this morning. Now, as you can see from the picture, there's more than one bird there. I want to indicate that there are multiple birds whose chirping kept me up. So, the birds, B-I-R-D-S, is the plural of the noun bird, but to show possession, that they are the ones responsible for the chirping, I put an apostrophe after the S. Now, you will see some people do this thing where they might write B-I-R-D-S apostrophe S, birdses. It's becoming more and more common. Frankly, I don't like it. I think it looks clumsy, but you may see it. I would say if you go with the way I've done it, with just S apostrophe, you won't go wrong. Since there was more than one bird chirping, as I say, we placed the apostrophe after the S. If we wanted to indicate that there was only one bird chirping, let's say it's not three birds up there, it's just one. I want to make it clear to the reader that this single bird's chirping woke me. It would be B-I-R-D, the singular bird, apostrophe S. To form the possessive case of a plural noun that does not end in S, we add an apostrophe and S, just like we would do with the singular. So here's an example. The mice's dinner consisted of cheese. Now, singular of mice is mouse. The plural is mice. It is a plural that does not end in S. It's irregular. So how do we form the possessive? Well, we just write M-I-C-E and then apostrophe S, because it is a plural noun that does not end in S. Easy peasy. Well, mice is plural. It does not end in S, so to show the possessive, we just add the S, the apostrophe S. Now, here is one of the most common mistakes we see with apostrophes. This is a true case. I used to work in a middle school, and I walked into the gymnasium when one of my first days working there, and I saw this, or something similar to this, painted on the gym floor. Welcome to Mountain View School, home of the Hawks. Look at this and see if you can tell me what is radically wrong with this logo. Well, the answer is Hawks should not have an apostrophe, because all we want there is the plural of the word hawk. Lots of hawks go to this school. There's no possessive involved. There's no contraction involved. Therefore, there should not be an apostrophe. Plain old plural nouns ending in S do not get apostrophes. Keep that in mind. Whisper it to yourself in your sleep. Luckily, my fellow English teachers and I were able to convince the school to spend the little bit of money necessary to get rid of that apostrophe, and they fixed it up, just like so. And that's it. That is, in a nutshell, how you use apostrophes. Again, there are some very special cases. I'm not going to go into it that there are always exceptions and little side routes you can take with English. But if you can remember and work on the rules that I provided with you in this presentation, you're going to improve your ability to write English. Hope that helps. See you next time.